today we will discuss regarding the resistor part 2 of the circuit theory. In the resistor part 2, there is one problem, simple problem. Now see here the problem. When two resistors R1 and R2 are connected in series, the value is 25 ohms, and when they are connected in parallel, the value is 6 ohms. Find R1 and R2. As we have seen from the resistor part 1, there is a series and parallel combinations. So when R1 and R2 are connected in series for the first condition, so what will be the values? So R1 plus R2 equals to 25 ohms, equation number 1. And from the second condition, when the two resistors R1 and R2 are in parallel, so value is 6 ohms. So we have seen from the resistor part 1, R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2 equals to 6. So equation number 2. So from these two equations, we can calculate the value of R1 and R2. Now here you see from equation number 1, we have R2 equals to 25 minus R1. Now putting this R2 value in equation 2, we have R1 into 25 minus R1. Then putting this value R2 here, as R2 equals to 25 minus R1. So putting here in equation 2. So R2 is replaced by 25 minus R1 by R1 plus, again R2 equals to 25 minus R1. 25 minus R1 equals to how much? 6. Equals to 6. So minus R1 plus R1 cancel out, and after reducing, this equation will be 25 R1 minus R1 square by 25 equals to 6. So after reducing, the equation becomes R1 square minus 25 R1 plus 150 equals to 0. So using the middle term factors, we have R1 minus 15 into R1 minus 10 equals to 0. So there are two conditions. One is R1 minus 15 equals to 0 and R1 minus 10 equals to 0. So first we consider R1 minus 15 equals to 0. Then R1 equals to 15. If R1 equals to 15, from equation 2, see here, from equation 1, we have R2 equals to 25 minus R1. So putting here, so R2 will be the 10 from equation 1. So this is one set of answers. Again, if we consider R1 minus 10 equals to 0, so R1 will be 10, and if R1 equals to 10, R2 will be, from equation 1, 25 minus 10 is equal to 15 ohms. So there are two values. So there are two conditions. One is R1 equals to 15. If we consider R1 equals to 15, R2 equals to 10. If we consider R1 equals to 10, R2 will be the 15. So in this way we can calculate from this condition, problem number 1. See here again, When two resistors R1 and R2 are connected in series, the value is 25 1. So from this equation number 1, we have R1 plus R2 is 25. And for the second condition, when they are connected in parallel, the value is 6 ohms. So from this second condition, R1 R2 by R1 plus R2 is 6. And from these equations, two equations, we can simplify and we will get R1 equals to 15, then R2 equals to 10, R1 equals to 10, R2 equals to 15. That is, in this way, we can calculate the different kinds of resistors using this problem. Thank you.